let's continue on with this marvelous poster, flyer slash header that you're making that designers will marvel at for years to come. It's looking great, but we want to start thinking about some of the nuances and subtleties going on in this poster. And we've been looking at edit and transform, which was Command T. Now we want to look at color. So the big thing with color is the other option up here. It's the two most popular, I'd say, for modifying images. You have edit, transform, or Command T, and then you have image and adjustments. Remember, there's a lot of images in Photoshop, but you really just want to focus on getting to the ones you're going to use all the time and then explore beyond that. So feel safe with edit and adjustments, and I mean edit, transform, and then image adjustments. And the options that we're going to focus on are going to be the hue saturation, color balance, and levels. So I'm going to zoom in a bit here, and what we're going to find is maybe Thor's blacks are a bit more black than Rocket's. So I want to click on the Rocket layer, and I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, Levels. And this deals with the darkest parts of my layer in Rocket. This deals with the mids, and this deals with the lights. So for example, if I want to bring up the whites in Rocket, I can slide this over. He gets a little bit brighter, kind of matching the brightness in Thor. And I can slide the blacks over this way, and it gets a bit darker. I'll do something extreme so you can see how this works. See how dark? Way too dark, right? But maybe we want to bring him about here to match what's going on with Thor a little bit better, right? And then we can say okay, and that's levels. Maybe Thor needs a little bit more white to match the white that I did with Rocket, so I'll click on Thor, and I go Image, Adjustment, Levels on Thor, and I'll just spike his whites a little bit more. Okay, and then I say okay. And I think they match up just slightly better. Another thing we want to look at is they're in this bluish purple of space, right? So I'm just moving these handles on the frame of my canvas. I think we should try to bring in some of that color that we see in the background. So I'm going to go click on Thor, and I go Image, Adjustment, Hue Saturation. Now the thing about hue saturation is here's your hue, which is going to affect your color. This is how rich the color is. This is how light and dark it is. So let me slide through these so you can see. Right? Now this is changing way too much. I don't want that much blue in him. Okay, that's a bit much. I'm going to slide this back to 0. I just want to show you what this option does. Saturation is how rich the color is in our image, or how negative it is. There's the ashen, the fallen. All right. Um, Bring that up, back to 0, and then light, the darkness, and the lightness. Oh, okay. I'm going to cancel. I don't want any of those. What I'd like to do is something a little more subtle by going to Image, Adjustment, Color Balance. Now with Image Adjustment, Color Balance, I can affect the midtones, the cyans, the reds, the magentas, the greens, the yellows, the blue, and the midtones, the highlights, and the shadows. In these midtones, I think I want to bring some more of that blue into Thor. Some cyans into Thor. Maybe some magentas. Maybe actually the green might work better in this case. Let's go to the highlights. Let's get a little bit more blues there. Have him match a bit more the colors of this background. Just trying to bring some of the colors in the background so he blends more. See, even his hammer is looking like it's blending a bit more. And then I say, okay. So I affected the midtones and the highlights. I said, okay. And if I hit Command 0, just zoom out and see the whole thing, I think that looks decent. If you hit Command Z, you can undo what you just did and see the difference. See, he's a little more yellowish there, but we're going to get him in the cool of space. So if I hit Command Z again, oop, you went back 2 steps. So hitting Command Z now brings you back multiple steps. If you hit Shift Command Z, you can move through your history and bring it forward in history. Okay. Um, and I think that matches more the style of the background. So again, let's look at history. If I go back for the levels and the color balance, here's what we had. If we go forward again, bring back our steps, here's what we have now. I think now these guys blend a bit more into our image, which looks good. So that is, again, image adjustment levels. For the darknesses, the midtones, and the lights, hue saturation will change all the colors, and color balance is going to be a little bit more specific. Nice. On to the next.